Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Dara. You're here with Truth with Dr. Dara. Good evening, everybody. I am live here on Facebook and I'm also live on Instagram. So please wave and say hello when you pop on. Go ahead and put any questions or comments that you have in the areas down below and I will get to them as quickly as I possibly can. So we're going to talk about time management today. Time management. I know that's a big thing for so many and it has so many different meanings for everybody because everybody gets affected by it differently. So once again, I am Dr. Dara. This is Truth with Dr. Dara and we are live on Facebook and Instagram. So as you guys come on, just wave to me, say hello, and go ahead and put any comments you have down below, any questions in the areas, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Valerie, I see that you're on. I see that some others are popping on Instagram. So just wave to me and we are going right now. So welcome to you guys. What is time management? What does it mean to you? How does it affect you? Have you had goals around it before? Have you set New Year's resolutions and intentions? Are you getting where you want to be with it? How is it faring for you? You know, time management is amazing because for everybody it can mean something different. And it's all about the way that our brain has already been wired with the ideas that we have about it. So for some of us, we say the word and all of a sudden we just get this cringe on our face and we feel very anxious and stressed just thinking about it. Earlier, somebody sent me a message and said to me, oh, time management, I can't even find time to even think about time management. So it's such a topic that affects people at different variances. And really, it's the way that your mind thinks about it that really is what sets it off to be. I see some more of you popping on. Hi, Sue. Hi, Amy. Hello. A couple of you other guys over there on Instagram. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the bottom. This is Dr. Dara, Truth with Dr. Dara. I'm a clinical psychologist here in South Florida, and it is pretty chilly here for us. It's about 50 degrees compared to some of you who have snow on the ground. It's definitely different. But even with that said, it sets your schedule off in such a different way because everybody's used to doing their routine. Kendra, I see you're just popping in. Great to see you. So the way that time management goes is the way that your mind has been thinking about it. Because if it has been an area of soreness for you, and if it's been an area of contingency or problem, then you're already having this idea that it's challenging. And the idea of thinking that something difficult is just around how your brain has connected that. So if we reassociate it with other things and we find ways that we enjoy it, it's automatically going to shift the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling, and the way that you're reacting when you're doing things. Because number one, the most important thing is when you're dealing with time management is people often think that they have to hurry up. But if you're hurrying up and you're telling yourself to go faster, get it done sooner, faster, your actions are going to follow. All mind here is move it, go faster, instead of slowing it down. So actually, when you're feeling rushed, you want to slow it down. You want to indicate to your mind that there's nowhere that it needs to be because it's going to get it done as fast as it can possibly get it done. You can't make it do anything different than how it has been going for you. So I got a question this week, and the question that I got explained that she had 3 things that are really important to her. She categorized them as number 1, school and work. Number 2, she said that it was around activities and social and things that she does with her friends. And number 3 was about time for herself. But she described that she doesn't feel like she can get all the things done at one time. She feels that she can only get in 2 out of the 3, and then she ends up feeling unsuccessful and probably like a failure sometimes, as people have described, and I know that I have felt. So she wants to know if this is an area of time management or for procrastination. So I see some more of you are jumping on. Carol, Ben, some others of you on Instagram and Facebook Live. Everybody's coming together. So if you have any questions, comments, go ahead and put it down below. We're talking about time management, how to make that shift in regards to time management. I see some heart waves and some hearts going. I appreciate that. Oh, Mara, you're on. Great. Good to see you too. Esma in Germany. So you guys are coming in from all over. So that had to take some time management because I know Ezra, she was coming on in Germany, so she had to set her alarm. So the first and foremost thing that happened for her was setting a very clear intention of what she wanted to get done. And by doing that, that got her, hi Joey, that got her going so that it was clear that it had to have happened for her. So with that, first and foremost, you want to prioritize it. You want to pick one thing on your list. If you have those three things, like school and social activities and time for yourself, pick one. And with that, break it down and what the top priorities of doing it, like what are the components of it? What are the pieces of it that are most important for you to get done? And then we want to focus on one thing at a time. And you want to lowball yourself. You definitely want to lowball yourself. Do little increments at a time so that you can feel success, so that you can feel that you have done it. Hi, Esma. So that you have done it and you can feel good. I call it having pee-pee parties. For some of you have heard that. I know it sounds a little silly, but I call it a pee-pee party because what I mean by that is you want to celebrate what you're doing and what is working. Because often when it's around time management, what's going on for people, hi Sydney, what's going on for people is that they're focusing on what's not working. So whether you're an athlete or whether you're a professional, whether you're a student, a mom, whatever your gig is, it's still about tapping into that inner champion inside of you and creating that organization and balance. Also, consistency and continuity. I know that's a lot of big words thrown out there all at once, but you mush them together in a bowl and you've got a recipe for success. So if you're working with time management, you're picking one thing, you've got the one thing that you want to do, you're listing it in a way because mind is going to do what is of value and what is of interest and appeal. Right? So it creates that value. I like to do things first that I like. Ben, awesome. Thank you so much. I like to do what I like to do. And then the next thing that happens, I'm going, oh gosh, I'm rushing and I don't have time to do the things that I feel that don't have interest and appeal. And automatically that's been pre-programmed in my head. So consciously, I'm not sitting around going, oh, let me see how I can make this most challenging and complicated for myself. Not at all. What's going on is I want to get it done and I want to be effective and I want to be productive. So where it's getting stuck for you is thinking that you could be doing all these things at one time and thinking that there's something wrong with you when you're not able to get with them. As I already mentioned, if you're telling yourself to hurry up, your mind isn't here to get, all your mind hears is hurry, hurry, and it does speed up. It's going to do what you tell it to do. So really, if you're rushing, you want to slow down. Right? So you take that number one thing and you focus on it and you create boundaries around that other stuff. So once you identify the first thing that you want to do, you want to put it on your schedule, whether you're writing it down or whether you're doing it in your mind. You want to think where you want to put that priority down. So for example, if it's around school, you're going to take a calendar and you're going to write in each thing because what you're doing is you're creating, it's actually the neuroplasticity in your brain. You're creating the brain to associate and wire those things together so that it becomes something that is related to things that you like to do or things that are pleasurable, because your mind may have associated some of the things that feel rushed as being things that you don't like. You know, I've got to tell you, on my way here tonight, it was really interesting to me because I thought I was all set up to do this at home. And according to my schedule, I was on par. I was running ahead. I was setting everything up. And then the next thing you know, I go in the bag and I look and I don't have the cord. Yes, exactly. I don't have the cord. So I have to think. All of a sudden, I start to feel this panic, this overwhelming panic, like, oh, there's something I need to be doing more. And in that moment, I slowed myself down and I recognized it was time to go back to my office. So I packed my things up and I came here. But the bottom line with all of this is nothing ever goes according to exactly the way that you want it to. I like to think of it as if you are a soldier, and I actually know that there's some of you on here that have been soldiers, but if you were a soldier going off to war, or you were going to school and you pack your backpack, or you're a mom and you pack your diaper bag, you've got all the things that you think you're gonna need for the day. You know that feeling when you think you have everything possible, but then all of a sudden you get yourself into a situation and you realize that you're short on something or you don't have something that you need. And in that moment, what do? Well, there's the option to panic, or there's the option to figure out and just kind of work with what you have. You've got to rally with it. So the thinking around time management is often thinking that it needs to be perfect and it needs to not have any problems, or it's just going to go so smooth. But realistically, there's always going to be some kind of complication. It's not the complication that happens, it's how we roll with it. Stacy, Jerry, I see you guys are coming on. Sydney wants to know where Denzel is. Denzel is all snug at home and sleeping, Sydney, but I will be sure that you get to see him soon. I'll send you a picture. Talk about time management. When you have 3 dogs and 2 kids, there is no schedule that ever goes exactly the way that you want to do. But I set a clear intention, and by setting that clear intention, then it creates the energy to go where I want the energy to flow, and it creates the possibility of it happening. So it happens, but not exactly the way that I expect it to or the way that I want it to. And oftentimes when we're talking about time management, that's what gets in the way, is thinking that it has to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Progress is better than perfection, and excuse me, and getting it done is better than nothing. Penny Pooh, I see you're on the line. Nice to see you. We're talking about time management, Penny Pooh. She's like the most prompt person I know. But in order to be that prompt person, she has to preset it. She has to get it set. So the neuroplasticity, the way that her brain and the neurons inside of her head go, is she creates an association with it in a positive way. So some of you are saying, well, how do I do that? Well, with doing that is thinking of it in a way that is, I mentioned before, appealing, but also of making it fun. When we talk about time management, often we're thinking about how grueling it is and how awful it is. Expect things to be perfect. Exactly. But it can't be perfect. It clearly can't, because nothing is perfect. You know, I'm already thinking the fact that all of you are on this call is that you do know how to manage time, because I called for it at 8:30, and to be honest, I was on at 8:32 as I was trying to set it up, and I should take a picture of me trying to do an Instagram iPad and a Facebook phone. Eventually I'm going to get them merged and it's going to be perfect. But in my world right now, it wasn't perfect. Nothing about it was perfect, but you know what it is? We're here right now. So every single one of you that have logged on, you're ahead of this more than you're even realizing it, because there's interest and you care. So you care to be moving that forward, so it can't not happen for you if that is what your intention is and if that's where you're moving it ahead. So right now, I want everybody to think of, hi, Aunt Lisa. I want everybody to think of one thing that you would like to have optimal time management around. You got it? Now take that thing. Does everybody have it? I want to see some waves and some hearts and something going on these screens if you've got it in your mind. You've got it. You've got it? Okay, I see a couple of you. I'm going to need a little bit more here. Fuel me, guys. Let me know when you've got something in your mind that you would like to be more optimal with your time management. Okay, well, when you have that in mind, I don't want you to try to do anything different with it. I don't want you to try to make it better, because you can't make it any better any quicker than you can make it worse. I mean, really. Now I want you to think about, hi, Paula. Now I want you to think about something that you really want to do worse. Think about something in your time management that you want to do less than. Okay? Now, by thinking about doing it less than, can you make yourself think of doing it any less? Can you make yourself think of doing it any slower? Not so much. Not any more than you can make yourself do it any faster. Donna, I see you just got on. Lisa, you've got it in your head. So you can't make yourself do anything any faster or slower than what you're doing. So you've got the priority down. You start to draw towards it. You're breaking it down into small increments, and you're having pee-pee parties. So when something is going right, you are celebrating it, because by celebrating what you are doing, you're going to get more of what you want. Because if you're moping around going, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late, I didn't get this done, I didn't get that done, you know what you're going to get? More of not getting things done. So once again, I want to wrap around this idea too about being a perfectionist. There's no such thing. And I mean, or how about this one? Overachievers. I don't want to think of myself as an overachiever, because who says that I'm over? To me, that's common. It is important to me to have completion. It is important to me to get things done. I'm thinking that those are optimal qualities. And again, the fact that all of you are on here right now tells me that that's what's important to you as well. Because if it wasn't important about having time management, you would be laying on the sofa and you would not have gotten up. Or maybe you'd be playing on the internet. Maybe you still are. I don't know. Some of you can do that, like multitask. I can pretty good. And that is happening right now. So there's this idea of perfectionism is thinking that we have to do it perfect or better than what we did. And like I mentioned earlier, each of us have this inner champion inside of us that is wanting to do things with greater value and significance. So we're not going to try to do the one thing that we want to get perfect. We're going to focus on the other things too and increase it. So when you're doing something that you like more, we're giving it more energy. We're focusing on it. Like, stop and say yes. So the pee-pee party, if any of you haven't caught on, it's when I've got my little boy or the dog this year and I'm getting them to go to the bathroom where I want them to. Hence, not in my house, or maybe different than in a diaper, in the toilet. So when I get them and they go where I want them to go, I'm singing and dancing and I'm getting excited. And then the more that I'm doing that, the next time, the more they're doing it and they're catching on because they're getting positive reinforcement for the things that I like, and I can get more from them that way. But if I'm just focusing on with them, oh, I don't like that. You know, I don't know about you, but when I tell my kids hurry up, do you clearly know what that means for them? It means slow down. Mara, I know that you're thinking this right now, because when you tell Sydney to hurry up, she literally stops in a halt with her feet out like Denzel the dog and refuses to do anything and slows down. Well, our minds are the same exact way. Our minds know that it wants to get satisfaction, it wants to feel good about what's done, so let's give it some reward. You guys with me on that? You've got that? It's important, because if not, you're running in circles, chasing your tail, and you're not getting anywhere. But the idea around it has been that it's feeling like you made it happen or you could have controlled it, when it's something that's been ingrained or stuck inside of you where it's been associated. So one of the things I like to do when I'm doing a schedule of something I like is I play some music so that it can create some schedule of the things that I like to do, and therefore it gets positive energy and positive vibes, because I feel like when people talk about time management, they hear Jaws, like, you know, whatever that theme tight song is, dun dun dun. I see a question. Stacy says, trying to eat every 3 hours. Sometimes it doesn't happen at the exact 3-hour mark. The point is, it gets done whether I have to stop eating because of work. I just return back to my food when I'm done with the task. Exactly. So you have a clear intention, Stacy, and you know what you're wanting to get done, and your digestive system is not freaking out. The only way that your digestive system starts freaking out is when you let it know that you are running late. So if you are trying to schedule your meals and all of a sudden you're freaking out going, oh, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. Do you know what happens to your digestive system? It literally starts to tighten up, like your sphincter. Everything tightens up and it can't digest it can't digest properly, or possibly can't digest. So when you're eating and if you're running late, then it's just what I'm doing, and then you're getting the food in, and when you get it in, Stacy, it's like, yes, I just fueled my body and I've eaten what is good to have eaten. Exactly. Great example, Stacy, when it comes to time management. And for some people, they might be thinking, oh, I want to eat more scheduled or organized, and I can't even think about eating every 3 hours because I can't manage to fit in the time to eat it or to make it. Well, the idea around that is to start doing it in small increments and put it in your schedule at a time that would be fun. So even if it was right now, you would be doing it while you're watching this. So that way it's something that's pleasurable, and therefore your brain is automatically connecting it with things that you like, and it creates joy, and you do more of it. So even for Stacy, when she's going and she's eating those every few hours, put it on a timer, but put it on for a song that plays that makes you happy, so it brings joy to you. Exactly like when an alarm clock. I think that's the best example. How many times that you set your alarm, but it has this awful sound. I mean, no wonder why people were grouchy for so many years. They got up to this buzzing sound that just sounded like so startling. It probably got them out of bed, but it got them like this to start off. So if you're setting an alarm, and that's time management, and creating that in a way that creates pleasant stimulus for you, it's a lot more pleasurable. Penny says, my job defines time management. Yeah, Penny's a dental hygienist. The best one in the whole world, I have to say. Dr. Friedel and Dr. Balsky. If anybody's looking for a dentist or an amazing hygienist, Penny's your girl. So she works and everything is on a 45-minute increment. So right there, she knows how that's going to go. But it creates a routine, right, Penny? It's almost like you don't even need the clock to tell you what's going on, because it has a routine. It has a sequence around it. But I can tell you, I mean, Penny's been doing it for many years, but if somebody is starting something new, it takes them a little while to get used to. It takes a little while to create the habit. I mean, Ben, I saw that you were doing some research on this, and typically we would talk about a habit being in 21 days, and I know that there's extended research that talks about it could take 60 days to get a habit into place. And when it comes to time management, it's about having consistency and the continuity of it and creating that habit and getting used to doing it. So Penny is on such a routine. She knows exactly what she's doing, Stacy, just like you do with your food. And as moms do, we get used to putting things into schedules. We get used to putting it into a regimen. In the morning, time management, talk about that, getting a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and me and my husband and the dogs walked and everybody fed. We all know the story, right? And it is about time management. So it's preparing as much as I can ahead of time. I see a couple more of you joined on. Joy, Aileen, if you guys have questions, please go ahead and put them down in the bottom. Questions, comments, waves, hearts. I love it all. We're talking about time management. I'm Dr. Dara. This is Truth with Dr. Dara. And if you have these ideas around what you want, intend it already. Think about how you want, set it in your head, write it out. What do you have to lose? Put it on a chalkboard. Create your ideal morning. As you're creating that, more energy is going to flow towards it. And focusing on what you do want to create opposed to what you don't want to create. So as we're continuing here, Brad, I see that you just jumped on. Lauren, hi Lauren, just jumped on. Also, time management. Lauren, you're a mommy. I know you know all about time management, getting things done. So doing it in small increments, having fun with it, and when it's not going the way that you want, who cares? Sometimes you've just got to do it anyway. It doesn't have to be pleasant, because if you do it and you do it anyway, it starts to get its own habit. It gets its own rhythm. The deal with time management is getting your own style, having your own mojo with it, because what works for me is not going to work for somebody else. So the more that you're doing it and the more that you're trying it and you're getting your own style, it's going to work. And again, it doesn't matter if you're an athlete, if you are a professional, a mom, a student, no matter what you are, this is critical. And behind the time management is creating habits that go through it. It says all of us work in some capacity, so it's important that you have a routine around it. Lauren says, Dara, oh, look at you, would love to see you. Well, here I am, but come see me by my office. Oh, other on here, you want to see me? That would be awesome, Lauren. And there's a lot of you that I would love to continue on with this. I have a Facebook group on It's Truth with Dr. Dara. If you want to join, it's a private group. You can ask the realest, raw, sexiest questions and get authentic and genuine answers. There's been some great back and forth between you guys and me going on in there. There's Truth with Dr. Dara every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Please send any questions, any topics, how we can make ShiFt happen. That's what this is all about. Anybody have any questions, comments before we wrap this show up? You guys have been awesome. It's been great to have you. So again, congratulations on coming on, because you are already ahead of this time management thing just by finding your way on here right now today. So it's wonderful to see everybody. Well, you saw me. I'll see you soon. Have a great night, and we'll talk soon. Take care.